Okay, so this past weekend I went to a smaller card show in Seminole, Florida. And actually, I didn't just go, I set up at it. This is a show I've talked about some on this show before. It's more of a traditional card show. And what I mean by that is, you'll see a lot more guys coming in with their printed checklist or their binders trying to complete their sets. There's not live breaks, there's not a lot of live streaming, there's no music blasting throughout the room. You're not likely to see as many big dollar deals, but at the same time, you never know exactly what you're going to find because it is still a live card show. Now, I don't have the same access to other shows in the area, or some of them want me to commit to multiple days, and I'm just not going to do that. So, this is one that I can decide on a month to month basis if I want to do it or not. So, when you put all those factors together, it works great for me. And a lot of you guys have seen my card show hauls or listened to my recaps before, and you know it's not uncommon for me to come home with a good mix of stuff. After all, a good day of digging should be rewarded. Well, believe it or not, I bought 0 cards at this show, and it wasn't for a lack of trying. I was ready to spend money if there was something there that fit my collection or something that would help me acquire something I want for my collection. There was a dealer that had a card with a document seal used by President Truman. You guys know I like weird little stuff like that or historical stuff. So I was a little tempted by that, but ultimately I decided I didn't need it right now. So I should mention, though, I did get a few small cards in other ways. One of my friends that also sets up bought a big lot a few weeks ago that had a 93-94 finest refractor of Rick Smith's. I needed that for my Pacers refractor binder, and he was nice enough to gift it to me. Another friend that set up gifted me a little batch of Pacers cards with a numbered Ron Artest I needed, so that was good. And then I traded a low-end Peyton Manning refractor for some cash and a 79 Maravich. And it's not something I was chomping at the bit to trade for, and it had a soft corner, but I didn't have it, and it helped me move the deal forward. So I went ahead and took it, and sometimes you just have to do that, and that's okay. But to sum that part up, I came home with a handful of cards that I paid $0 for. And several years ago, that probably would have disappointed me. If you go to a show as a buyer, a seller, or both, it only seems right to bring something home. But now that I've been doing this for a little while now, I try to establish 1 or 2 primary goals for each show I attend. And this is especially important if I'm setting up, which, like I alluded to earlier, I only do every maybe 2 to 3 months now. And my goals are different depending on the show. You just have to have some kind of idea what you're stepping into or what you want to accomplish. For example, I talked about my trip to the Midwest Monster Show a couple weeks ago. That was, a different setting. That was a vacation for me. It was a big show. So my 3 goals heading into that show were to meet up with people, to find some nice PC cards, and just to browse nice cards in general. So I left that show feeling like I had accomplished all 3. Now, my goals for this past weekend's shows were different because it wasn't a vacation and it wasn't a big show, so I had to kind of modify them for the setting. I knew it would be a great show to move to. I had this like a 4-row box and a 5-row box that was full of base that I've been lugging around for a really long time. In fact, I even put it on hiatus a little bit during the pandemic because I was just moving so much stuff that I wasn't worried about base. But this is a good show for that. And additionally, I put a quarter box together this week with all sorts of inserts and cards that have been sitting at the house that I had no use for. So my goal number 1 for this show, I wanted to move a lot of that bulk stuff. And I was able to do that. Now, granted, I reduced the price significantly, but at the same time, it was stuff that I really didn't have much money invested in. So it was good to get rid of that. Now, additionally, my trip to Dallas will be here before I know it, so for goal number 2, I wanted to move some more stuff to generate some funds that will be more useful there. I wanted some cash, right? And I was able to do that as well. So, long story short here, I came into this weekend, I should say, with some goals. I was able to accomplish those. I think if you really want to maximize your time and your enjoyment in this hobby, especially when you're going to be, going to shows or going to different places or going to card shops, right? There are times where you have to be more intentional. And I think card shows provide a great opportunity to put that into practice. So my hopes are that I was able to articulate that in a way that might benefit you more than, your standard card show recap. For more segments like this, feel free to tune in every Thursday to new episodes of the audio podcast. And as always, thanks for watching.